Greetings, salutations, and good now. I'm Kevis Major, doing it major, helping you to do it major using the insights of astrology. Welcome to the month of June, and welcome to our June forecast, where we're going to be talking about all of the major astrological happenings for the month of June. I'm talking about the two major lunar events, new moon, full moon. We also have Pluto going direct in Aquarius. We got a whole surge of Cancer or Cancerian energy, and not to mention a stacked lineup of hard hitting squares. This month is going to be not only filled with tension, but it's going to be quite transformative. And so, if you're ready to dive into the month of June, let's get into it. If you've made it thus far, make sure you hit the subscribe, smash the like button, drop a nice little comment down below, and let's get into this video. Alright, so we start off at June 1st. Pluto goes direct in Aquarius. Now, I like to call Pluto the planet of doom, gloom, death, and destruction. So this is a major move happening on the 1st of the month. Pluto represents deep transformations, are the deep transformations that we're willing to undertake or undergo in order to gain power. Yeah? So Pluto in Aquarius is all about the collective and how, we take power and control in group dynamics, and also how we organize as a society. When Pluto goes direct, is a big change, moving from, introspective and internal to external and more outer, a shift from background to foreground. So, while Pluto was in retrograde, maybe things were happening internal to our psychology, to our psyche, even our body. Things were breaking down, showing us where we need to, rebuild and regrow stronger. But now that Pluto is direct, all of that energy is more external. So we're thinking about regulations, especially regulations are reform around AI, right? And even robots. We could see movement with energy being given to social movements, revolts, revolutions, rebellions, also forward movement when it comes to humanitarian efforts and humanitarian aid. And all of these things, all of these social movements are going to be gaining steam again. Also, there's going to be a shift in authority. Yeah, so we're looking out to see, any elections that are going to be taking place, and Pluto bringing in doom and gloom and destruction. All right, let's move forward. June 1st, we also have a conjunction between Venus and Chiron. All of this is happening in Aries. So this is a raw, vulnerable energy. Venus is all about our relationships, harmony, self-worth, balance. I like to say Venus is our fulfillment levels. Chiron deals with our wounds and insecurities. So Venus, how we become fulfilled, is going to have, is going to be sharing the stage with situations and circumstances that are embarrassing, and that reminds us of a time that we thought that we were going to die. Right? That's what wounds and traumas are all about. Are more so traumas. You know what I'm saying? Like real traumatic incidents where you feel like you would lose your life, or lose a part of your body, or lose a part of your identity. Some tension or some conflict around love, intimacy, relationships, and even finances in some way, shape, or form. Like if your Venus messed up, which deals with your fulfillment and attraction and attractability, then you ain't gonna be able to attract money. And so this conjunction is going to be quite difficult as we either learn about self, but more so our relationship with others and the external world. A bit of discomfort here as we heal from whatever trauma, whatever insecurity, whatever it is keeping us back from having the best sort of relationships with the external world, with others, and with money. On June 6th, Venus enters Taurus. Venus is at home here in Taurus. So Venus is going to go through a little difficult patch from June 1st, but around the 6th, Taurus is going to be home and safe in the earth sign of Taurus. fixated modality, which alludes to it being steady and sturdy energy. This brings focus to our stability in love and finances. So a few days prior to this, we're going to be seeing where we lack financial stability and financial security. We're going to be seeing where we lack even emotional honesty, especially around our love affairs. But as soon as Venus enters Taurus, then we're going to be feeling a bit more stable, a bit more grounded in our love matters, in our finances. This is a great time to invest your money, whether it is, investing in self or investing in your home, investing in your appearance, investing in your relationship, investing for financial reasons. Every investment in financial investment. But it's also a time for us to slow down and enjoy the physical world, right? So Venus entering Taurus is a good time for sensuality, a good time for intimacy as well. On June 8th, we're going to have a conjunction. Mercury is going to conjunct Jupiter in Gemini. No, this is a loud aspect. Lots of talk, ideas, debates, possibly arguments. Exaggeration is the word that's coming to me, but it took me a long time to bring it forward. But exaggeration. Both of these planets are mutable here. Mercury is going to be home in Gemini, so this is great for brainstorming all the way to public speaking. But it's not the best placement or alignment for final decisions and signing a contract per se. So on June 8th, people may be over promising but under delivering. So look out for a lot of hot air on June 8th. Mercury is going to be in the final degrees of Gemini, conjuncting Jupiter. Jupiter is also going to be in its final degrees as well, which is great for critical thinking. You're on the verge of making a major shift when it comes to your mindset or making a major decision. So it's not like okay, around June 8th, 9th, 10th, we're going to be making the final decision. But just about there, Mercury is going to be shifting into Cancer, which is an elemental shift. A shift from head to heart, and Mercury and Jupiter are both going to move into Cancer around the 8th and the 9th. This kind of softens our tone, softens our approach. We start thinking and speaking more emotionally. Cancer is cardinal water, initiating and creating new ways of emotional stability. We are communicating more about safety, about family, about emotional truths and not just logic. On June 11, we are going to be experiencing the full moon in Sagittarius. This full moon ties back to the Gemini new moon that we had on May 27th. Gemini is bringing in all of the facts, but Sagittarius is bringing the meaning behind all of the facts. This moon is going to be about clarity, seeing what beliefs no longer serve us and what plans were just too small. You see, Sagittarius is that fire sign, mutable fire. It's all about expanding our horizons and shooting for higher heights while releasing limited and outdated beliefs and ideologies. June 17th, Mars is going to enter Virgo. Currently, Mars is in its preferred placement, but nothing good lasts forever, right? So now we get a bit more discipline when it comes to our passion. Mars is currently home in Leo, a sign that it loves to be in, a sign that it thrives to be in, makes us quite passionate and riled up, revving and rearing to go. However, we may lack the discipline that it takes to complete what it is we need to complete. And so this is a placement that we welcome. Mars entering Virgo. Not the best of placements because Mars doesn't necessarily love to be here. However, Mars in Virgo could influence us to be quite disciplined. Mars is a planet of action, but Virgo is the sign of precision, the sign of details. Mutable Earth, being flexible, adaptable, changeable when it comes to finding security, structure, and organization. So this is a great time to organize things, to refine your health and even your routines, fix the systems in your life that aren't working for you. Mars here is loud, like it is in Leo. However, it's quite efficient. June 21st, Sun enters Cancer and we welcome the summer solstice. This is going to be the longest day of the year in the northern hemisphere, making it the beginning of the summertime. Go summer, go summer, go summer. And the sun moves into Cancer, again cardinal water, ruled by the moon. This is going to be a turning point of the year. It's going to be a great time for emotional renewal, focusing on home, your family, your roots, your ancestry, your predecessors, and just your personal security. This is going to be a great season. Again, Cancer being cardinal water, initiating and creating new ways of emotional security, and so that is going to be the focus and the forefront for that month. On June 27th, Sun is going to conjunct Jupiter in Cancer, and well, this is going to be a major moment, a big moment, because Jupiter is that planet of expansion, fortune, prosperity, good luck. So everything that Jupiter touches expands. So with the Sun here, Mercury is also going to be in Cancer. This is going to bring a lot of visibility and opportunity. The Cancer zodiac sign speaks heavily about how we nurture and take care of things. Cancer is the sign of the mother. Put your motherly energy into the thing that you're focused on for this month, if that makes sense. On June 24th, Sun conjuncts Jupiter in Cancer. This is an excellent time to take up leadership in a nurturing role. It's a good time to nurture and take care of people, places, things, circumstances, and situations, especially, if it's something pertaining to, home, pertaining to family, pertaining to your comfortability and your stability. All right, let's fast forward. June 25th, we're going to have the new moon in Cancer. This new moon offers a fresh start for each and every one of us when it comes to our emotional world. Cancer is all about protection, comfort, stability, and what feels safe. So this is perfect for setting goals and intentions around family, around health routines, life, and even upgrading your living space, whether making it bigger, making it smaller but more affordable, making it more beautiful, all in all, making it more comfortable and making it more safe or safer. The moon rules Cancer, so this is going to be a strong and a powerful reset. On June 26th, Mercury is going to enter Leo. Mercury being how we think, how we communicate, how we process that information, and how we share that information. And that is going to shift into Leo, the sign of fixed fire. Our speech is going to be a bit more expressive, bolder, good for performing, good for entertaining. However, we could spark ego clashes if people feel unheard or unseen during this point in time. And that's our final highlight, final major placement that we have for this month. So as you could see, a stacked June when it comes to planetary placements. All right, so let's go into part two where we're going to talk about the challenging aspects in June. Now, the first week of June seems like a breeze, but the second week, especially around the 8th, 9th, and 10th, we could experience communication overload. We have again Mercury conjuncting Gemini in late degrees. Mercury conjuncting Jupiter in late degrees of Gemini, and so we could just think about a lot of chatter, a lot of announcements, over promising, but where is the meat with all of the speech and all of the things that are going to be highlighted? A great day to tune out distractions. Mercury is going to be squaring Saturn. It's quite interesting that Mercury conjuncts Jupiter. So just think about, information, how we process information, how we share information, thinking. All of that is going to be expanded because of Jupiter. But we also have Saturn, which is the planet of limits and blockages and restrictions, squaring off with Mercury, and that is usually a conflict. So thinking is going to have some tensions and restrictions and blockages because of limitations. So I don't know, that day is going to be quite weird. Also, Mercury is going to square Neptune. So there might be delays with communication, blockages with communication. Things might be shutting down, or communication might be hampered or limited, even though it's expanded during that day. But also, there's a square with Neptune, which could lead to miscommunication and delusions or illusions or smoking mirrors, right? Also on that day we have Venus squaring Pluto, which could allude to some sort of power struggle when it comes to love or and money. So these 2 days, the 8th and 9th, are going to be quite dense. You're going to feel the push and pull between, our bold ideas and some sort of roadblocks. Things could be a bit confusing, so be mindful of manipulation and people who are just kind of trying out half truths or just throwing shit against the wall and hoping that it sticks, basically. On the 10th of June, Mars is going to trine Chiron. This whole Chiron in Aries placement was all about healing from personal wounds, personal traumas, personal insecurities. And Mars trining, is going to bring motivation to confronting those wounds, enabling us to face our fears. Mars in Leo gives us courage, right? It makes us bold, it makes us fierce. We're just going to be able to take on, our fears, take on our insecurities. We may feel scared, we may feel nervous, but we have the energy to just push through. We could experience this as just a boost of confidence to face whatever has been holding us back for some time. So that's the 8th, 9th, and 10th. Then we have like a 5-day type of chill time before another explosive point where Mars is going to square Uranus. Now, Mars again is the planet of war, it's a planet of action, energy, even aggression, and it's going to be squaring Uranus, which is the planet of sudden shifts, rebellions, innovations, basically curveballs, going against what is the norm or what is the status quo. And so we could see sudden flare-ups, we could see breakdowns or breakthroughs. Again, at this time, Mars is late degrees Leo, getting ready to go into Virgo. And so a lot of pent-up aggressive energy there. We need to be careful because Uranus, rebellion, innovation, things suddenly changing, and that could be quite explosive, no pun intended. Jupiter is also going to be squaring Saturn. Jupiter is how we grow, how we expand, our good luck, our prosperity, and it's squaring off or having a conflict with the planet of limits and boundaries and discipline and maturity. So our growth is going to have a reality check. This is a very unstable day, so look out for any type of risky behavior, even when it comes to finances, financially overextending yourself. You'll need to find a balance on this day. All right, you'll need to pivot or adapt quickly, because Uranus, sudden things are going to be happening, and this square between Jupiter and Saturn, well, it might be more difficult than how I'm expressing it right now. All right, June 19th, we have a difficult day. June 15th and then June 19th, we got a 4-day little gap here. All right, so Jupiter is going to square Neptune. We talked about Jupiter being this planet of prosperity, fortune, good luck, expansion. It's already in Cancer, and so it's bringing in a lot of, I don't want to say blessings, but good vibes when it comes to our emotional security, or at least creating a new way for our emotional security and our safety. However, is going to square Neptune, and all of the illusions are going to pop. We got Cancer and Aries. This could create a good deal of steam or fog or confusion. Jupiter again is that planet of expansion, of faith, hope, prosperity, good luck, fortune, things going well and expanding for us. and it's going to be squaring off or having a conflict with Neptune, the dreamer of the zodiac. Talks about our idealism and all of the fantasies and all of our best wishes. I think these two planets in isolation go well together. Jupiter deal with expansion and Neptune, our best wishes. However, a square off is going to show us where our ideas and our ideals and best wishes need to be grounded in some sort of reality, in some sort of plan, in some sort of actuality. We could see our illusion or our fantasy or our dream shattered on this day just because it's a square aspect. Jupiter does expand everything that it touches. However, whatever dream it was expanding, whatever illusion it was expanding, when it goes to these trials and tribulations or these squares, it could show us where we just need to ground and be a bit more realistic. So that day might be a bit chaotic. However, it's going to be chaos for the good. June 22nd to the 23rd, the sun is going to square Saturn and Neptune. More sticky aspects. We could expect our energy to drop and our ego to be checked. We are talking about sun already in Cancer. However, Saturn and Neptune are in Aries. So this is fire versus water. A lot of steam, a lot of smoke, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of confusion, a lot of tension, a lot of unclarity. So avoid doing anything major on these days. Avoid launching anything important. Avoid signing any important contracts because people may just lack clarity on this day, and we could be experiencing just some low energy or some low vibe. I mean, squares or tensions and conflict. Saturn, boundaries, limitations, maturity, discipline, things becoming hard. And Neptune, again, because it's a square, more of the negative influences of being disillusioned or thinking realistic. Same time, June 23rd, we're going to be having a Gemini moon mixed bag, because the moon in Gemini, right, is going to be squaring Mars, trining Saturn and Neptune, while opposing Uranus and sextiling Pluto. This moon is going to activate a lot, emotionally and mentally. It may be good for writing and having conversations and being strategic. However, we may be easily distracted around this time, and it's just a lot going on. So I would also shy away from launching anything, from making any major commitments on that day, for planning anything major around 22nd or 23rd. Around the 24th to the 26th, however, that's where our power is going to be returning, as Sun conjuncts Jupiter in Cancer, bringing in big visibility and opportunity. Mercury is going to square Chiron. Okay, it's going to be painful. Our honesty is ultimately leading for the good. Like all these wounds and insecurities and traumas that we're overcoming, once we're being honest about them, is just helping our healing. Sun is also going to sextile Mars. Think by now Mars is going to be in Virgo, a harmonious blend of these energies as we continue to Sun in Cancer nurture and take care of self, home, and our safety and security. And Mars is just being strategic and detail oriented, seeing all of the different aspects and angles, how we could really continue nurturing and taking care of things. This is a strong end to the month. After weeks of all of this emotional work, we have, some aspects that bring not only healing, we have clarity, we have opportunity, we have courage, and we have vitality. All right, so June 2025, water is going to dominate the second half of the month. The inner world and our personal relationships is going to take stage. We are going to be challenged with our motherly energy. How great can you nurture? Can you take care? Can you protect something or the thing or yourself? For each individual, we have a different goal, we have a different agenda, a different intention. Everyone has, a different destination in mind. However, you know, this June month starts out in Gemini, okay, but a strong emphasis on the Cancerian energy. Even though we could start making plans and being strategic about how we take care of whatever it is we know that we have to take care of during this month of June. There are going to be pressure points, especially around June 8th and 9th. We have the 15th, and we also have the 22nd to the 24th. But these lead to breakthroughs. Don't rush to decisions during the fog. And January, there's going to be a lot of fog. But use the full moon. Use the full moon to let go of whatever you're not aligned with, you know? And use the new moon to commit to peace, commit to a new level of emotional stability and security that you're creating for yourself. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know down in the comments, what do you think about the month of June and how is it going to play out for you? And be sure to subscribe for more grounding, real life astrology. If you would like to have a reading from yours truly, email me at kevisbmajor@gmail.com and I'll be happy to dive into your chart and give you whatever reading that you require. Major farewell until we meet or greet again. I'm Kevis Major, doing it major.